Unfortunately, we are operating in what we like to call an employer's market, which means that employers have all of the power. It means that there are more job seekers than jobs available, and the jobs that are available, well, they're asking for a lot, and they're paying very little. But that means if you have clicked this video, you have a job interview for a job I would like to think you're a little bit excited about. And now more than ever, it is so important that you are putting your best foot forward and proving that you are the right person for the job, because it is more competitive now than it has been in a very, very long time. I'm Emily Durham. I've worked in recruiting for over 8 years. I'm a careers advice columnist and podcast host. Careers is what I do, and this video is every single thing you need to do in order to ace your next interview, okay? We're going to talk explicitly about how to prepare, what you're going to do, how to research it, how to physically show up to the interview, and some other tips and tricks that I have seen really help candidates throughout my career. As someone who has done hundreds and hundreds of interviews, it is so important for you to know that recruiters don't want to see you fail. Typically, recruiters get rewarded either with commission or promotions the more people that they hire. The best case scenario for them and for you is the same. They want to see you be the right candidate for the role. So first thing you need to do is remove the mental barrier that you have placed on yourself. Repeat after me. I'm in every room because I deserve to be. There are 2 core things that every single interview, whether it's your first round or your final round, is 100% going to cover. It's the skills for the job and the values alignment for the company. As we go through this, I'm actually going to show you some examples on the screen next to me. So let's pretend that you're applying for a digital marketing specialist job in Toronto with LG Electronics Canada. The first thing that I want you to do is go to LG's career website. And trust me, every single company is going to have one of these websites. They are literally a cheat sheet on what they want to hear from you to make sure that you align to the company's values. So looking at LG's website, they actually have a section called Who Are We Looking For? So if you were to click that, this is the first time I'm looking at this, and right away on the website, I can see they talk a lot about innovation and collaboration. So I would make sure those are the core things I'm calling out. I don't want you to worry about your interview answers just yet, but for now, make some notes on the core themes that you're seeing on the website. Job descriptions are the absolute best resource going into any interview because they are literally spoon feeding you. They are literally handing to you on a silver platter all of the words and phrases and things that are going to resonate with the recruiter. And yes, maybe you demonstrate these things naturally, but if you look into the job description and the career website and use the specific words that this company uses, you're making it so much easier for the recruiter or the hiring manager to see that you did your research and to clearly say, yes, this person aligns to what we're looking for. What really stands out to me is they're looking for knowledge of SEO, SEM, e-commerce, social media, and affiliate marketing. They're also looking for excellent time management and organizational skills. Spoiler alert, I want you to write down all of those core skills that they're looking for. The cool thing about doing your research in advance is you can actually predict some of the questions that are going to come your way based on what's important to the company. Now, there are questions that are asked in almost every single interview that you can 1000% prepare for, including tell me a little bit about yourself, why are you looking for this role, why are you interested in this role, and tell me about a time when. Some of the questions are most likely going to be pretty targeted to the specific position. So for this digital marketing specialist role, I see a lot of call outs to SEO, SEM, organization, and innovation as listed on the careers website. So if I were preparing for this interview, I would have a couple of examples ready for each of those core areas. There is a very high likelihood, though, that you get asked a curveball question or a question perhaps we did not anticipate, and that is totally okay. And remember, a good interview isn't an interrogation, it's a conversation. So it's okay for you to stumble on your words and not have a perfectly articulate answer every single time. If you've listened to my podcast or been on this channel before, you know that I love the STAR method. And the STAR method is very tried and true. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it is something that is so steady and so amazing at helping people answer interview questions in a clear and concise way while still giving the right level of information. Some of the biggest mistakes that I have seen in conducting my own interviews is people either speak so much that I can't figure out what they're trying to say or who they're talking about and it's hard to follow, or people don't talk enough. And I'm like, what's the subject at hand here? I'm a little confused. STAR stands for situation, task, action, and result. So every single time you are asked a question, even one you may not have the complete answer to, start with defining the situation in 1 to 2 sentences. Then the task you were assigned in 1 to 2 sentences. In 1 to 2 sentences, the action. So what did you actually do? And then R is the result. And if you want a video that goes a little bit more in depth on this, I have one up here that I will link. And at the end of the interview, it is always a really good idea to prepare thoughtful questions. This next prep step I like to call stage presence. You can probably tell that I'm a reformed theater nerd who actually majored in theater for quite a while in university. And the reason I think stage presence is so important, especially after having a career in human resources, is that how you show up and how you occupy space, and more importantly, how you engage and interact with people, oftentimes has a very serious impact on how people perceive you. Stage presence is not just for extroverts, this is for introverts too. Having great stage presence means that you show up confidently, you show up punctually, and you have a defined personal brand, whatever that might be for you. Confidence and competence are very closely tied. So the more confident and self-assured you come off in an interview or in a conversation, the better. And body language is one of those tricky little things that really inform how people perceive that feature of ours. Take a second to actually be thoughtful about your body language. Are you sitting up tall with your shoulders back? Are you making eye contact as much as comfortable and feasible for you? Are you smiling when you say certain things? Are you nodding your head on occasion, not all the time, to indicate that you're listening? Do you speak with your hands just a little bit to tell the story? Or are we hunched in? Are we fidgeting because we're really nervous? Are we avoiding eye contact? Are we kind of seeming disinterested or swaying? All of those things at times can impact how people perceive us. I also recognize that a lot of the advice and studies we have around body language and perceived confidence are extremely tailored towards folks who are not neurodivergent. So I do think there is a very significant gap in terms of what that perception bias looks like. So I don't want to bypass that at all. If you're anything like me, you might have been someone who thought that positive affirmations were kind of like fluffy and silly, but I'm telling you, if 20 minutes before your interview, you take intentional time to slow down so that you're not super nervous and say positive affirmations like, I'm a really intelligent person and any company would be lucky to have me, in the mirror, it is going to change the way you feel and carry yourself in the rest of that conversation. Pro tip, do not rush. Give yourself time to show up to the interview, whether it's virtually or in person. Give yourself time to breathe and center before you go in so that you can release any nervous energy that may or may not impact your performance. Very few of us have all of the answers all of the time. I would argue I almost never have all of the answers, or even half. So if you're in an interview and you're being asked a question that you don't know the answer to, dude, it's totally okay to say, I actually don't know the answer, but here's how I would find it. That is a core difference. That's a game changer. That's what's really going to take things to the next level for you. As much as I wish the good old saying, practice makes perfect, was kind of BS, because then maybe if I stuck with ballet, I would have been a good ballerina. I'm here to report that it is not, in fact, BS. The more you practice things, the better you get. That's why I think it's so important to continuously be interviewing, even if you're happy in your job, so that you never lose that muscle and you never stop flexing that muscle. In advance of this big interview, I would highly recommend doing a prep call with yourself. Literally, get your phone, prop it up in front of you, and answer those interview questions that we brainstormed earlier and record yourself. Then I want you to go back, and yes, it's going to be so freaking awkward. I want you to go back and I want you to watch all of those videos and critique yourself. Notice your nervous habits. What is your body language like? Are you coming across as someone who is confident? Are you using a lot of filler words like or you know? And if so, be mindful of that as you're going into the interview, and then do it again and again and again. And the point of this is not for you to be over-rehearsed. The point is for you to notice little things about yourself and how you respond to stressful or anxious situations. And the more you are aware of your nervous habits, the better prepared you'll be to move through them in the moment. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, but what you wear to the interview is 1000% going to impact how seriously people take you. I'm thinking of making a full video breaking down what to wear to work and to interviews, but remember, I would rather you be overdressed than underdressed. And finally, one of the most important things you can do is remember your manners. That counts for both during and after the interview. Make sure you are authentically thanking the people who took the time to speak with you. Shake their hand if you're in person. Really make sure you are expressing your gratitude and humility during the process. And at the end of the interview, that means sending a thank you. like a really thoughtful thank you to the people who were in the panel or one-on-one with you. Above all, I want you to know that you should be very, very proud that you've made the decision not only to put yourself out there in the interview process, but to invest in your interviewing skills and invest in your career by clicking on this video. That is not something that everybody does. You took free time out of your day to invest in yourself. And that is a testament to the kind of person you are. That is why any company would be absolutely lucky to have you. You have to let me know if you have questions down below in the comments. I will happily answer those. I absolutely love hanging out with you. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you in my next video.